Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap Review. This is for Better Call Saul, the Season 6 premiere. Well, it's 2 episodes. It's Episode 1, Wine and Roses, and Episode 2, Carrots and Sticks. But if you told me this was one big, giant episode all put together, edited all as one giant, epic kind of movie thing, it was unbelievably awesome. I'm not sure who directed the first episode, but I did see on the title card as it was starting that Vince Gilligan did in fact direct the second episode. And it makes sense as this show proceeds closer and closer to that end point. We have, oh my goodness, we only have 5 more episodes of this half, and then we have to wait till July, and then we get 6 more episodes to see how they close off this final season of Better Call Saul. So we're going to get all into this episode, rip it apart, look at what happened. I must admit, I am a little analysis paralysis, overwhelmed by being back in this world, but it feels like an old friend. It's almost been exactly 2 years to the date since the last episode of Better Call Saul aired. I believe it aired on April 20th of 2020. Was the last time, or at least the last time I was live talking about the episode. I don't know if that was the next day or anything, but I was looking back on the last time I talked about Season 5, the finale. But what a season 5 was, ended on a really crazy, amazing point, and this season just took off right from that point. They put those old clothes on you, they make you feel all Better Call Saul-y, batty, and they really get you going. Wow, Kim is really gone all the way. She is basically training Saul Goodman, and she is the stick. I know I'm going to cater to the second episode first because I ended that one more recently, but wow. The first episode just notched up the tension. I felt tense the moment the episode started, and I was a little tired leading up to when everything was about to start, but then right when everything started, I just immediately bursted awake in excitement to go, oh my goodness, it is time for Better Call Saul. And then right when it starts, right from the music kicking in, and we'll get into the beginning, we don't get a Gene thing, we get another post-Breaking Bad scene of Saul's house being ransacked and taken and everything being repossessed and thrown out post the Walter White situation. At least I assume that's what that was. But we do get a lot of Well, he's full Saul now, or at least he's being trained by Kim to become the full Saul. We see Nacho. We followed a lot of Nacho right now. I am worried about my friend Nacho at this point in time. But he brought in, especially in that second episode, a lot of the excitement in the way it was filmed. You could kind of definitely see the Vince Gilligan all over that second episode and some of the angles, some of the way things were shot. And that's the thing, you come right back into this world. Hey everybody, here I am. You come right back into the world, and it's extremely exciting to get set up with those camera angles, those sounds, those lighting cues. Everything that you're used to in this world just comes right back like an old friend that's just hi, how you doing? Oh, you're not sure? You don't remember what it's like to watch a Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould show? Oh, come on in the water. It's really nice in here. And it feels like good all over your body. And it builds up the tension, builds up the emotion, builds up all the color schemes and all of that, which is abundantly clear as well. But the main thing that I sense getting into these 2 episodes is a sense of imploding disaster that's leading down the line. And moreover, and I don't know whose disaster it's coming, but obviously it seems like our main candidates, if we're going to look at people that we're on worry, that we're on watch this season, and how do their stories end? Because a lot of the people we do know, it's great to see the Sandpiper people back in episode 2, the Kettlemans, was that their name? They killed it in this particular episode. I think they stole the show in episode 2. Mike was miking all over the place. But basically, for me, I mean Howard too, but the 2 big ones in the series of three big ones in the series, because I haven't mentioned his name yet. I haven't mentioned the star of the episode 1 yet, Lalo Salamanca. Lalo's fate Kim's fate, Nacho's fate. Like, those three are the ones that we don't necessarily know where they end up in the Breaking Bad timeline altogether. We'll get into some theories and thoughts about Lalo and Nacho and Kim as we're going through these episodes leading into the finale of ultimately probably, and in some ways I hope at least for extended period of time, the last thing we're going to get in this universe. It feels like that's what they're telling us. And that's why I think we didn't get the Gene stuff. I think we didn't get the Gene stuff, and this is just my speculation. I'll get right off the bat that we're going to pretty much finish this part of the storyline off in these 6 episodes, and then we're going to get a lot of Gene. We're going to get a lot of future timeline. I don't know if we're going to get like the whole second half of the season is the future timeline, but I think we're going to get more than just a little bit. I think we're going to get a lot more of that era of Gene. Gene's got a lot to do. You know, he's got to handle it himself. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And absolutely, I forgot to mention, I am not alone, of course. I have with me the live motherfucking chat. Let's see who the hell is in the motherfucking chat right now. It's been a long time to talk about some. We got KP. We got Jeffrey Townsend, of course. Saul Goodman would have the golden toilet. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the golden toilet, the golden toilet. You haven't been sitting on the toilet and the water splash bump on your ass. Don't that make you mad? But Jeffrey Townsend, of course, he would have the golden shitter leading in there. How are you? I am doing great. Jasmine, Breaking Bad. Walking Dead is amazing to see you. It's amazing to see some of our Saul Goodman friends. I'm glad that they pushed up the airtime of these episodes every week as well. I remember, and I could be wrong, it's been a while, but they used to air at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now they're going to be airing for the remainder of this season at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. So it is pretty awesome. We won't have to be out here. And I know it's not too super late for everybody, but you know, in the East Coast, I know it is kind of late for some people starting a podcast at midnight. Now, Joe Dirty Locks was supposed to join me tonight. I want to send out a lot of love to Joe and Katie. They unfortunately had to say goodbye to one of their kitties tonight, and it's really amazing, Kitty, and lots of love sent out from me, and I'm sure everyone in the live motherfucking chat right now to Joe and Katie, and fully understand Joe. Joe might pop in at some point later in the evening, depending how he's feeling, but most likely Joe will be joining us maybe next time, intermittently through the season because of the time he gets off work, but he'll be joining halfway through some casts during the season. So Joe sends some love to all of you as well. Emerald, great to see AK in the live chat. Send them love to AK. Jeff Hub, was it 2 episodes or was it 1? It was 2 episodes. I think episode 1 ended when Lalo was driving off. Oh, spoiler alert. If anyone's just tuning in, this will be spoilers for all of the 2 episodes of Better Call Saul. Obviously, it's a recap video you clicked on. But just a quick warning. So at the end of the episode when Lalo takes off after he kills the 2 dudes that are rude to him, they could have just been nice and given the dude his money back. But because they peed on the dude's rug, Lalo had to kill him and took their truck. I believe the first episode ended at that point right there, and then the second episode started off after that. But it was 2 episodes. So that's why I think they aired, I think, the 2 episodes back to back like this, so it can be 2 6-week blocks, because the second half of the season, the one that airs in July, is only 6 episodes. So, 6 episodes. We're getting 13 total in this final season. They're just being broken up. So tonight we got 2, and then we get 5 weeks, and then in the second half we get 6 weeks. Hey, great to see Ian in the live chat. I binge Breaking Bad every Saturday at this point. This episode was crazy. Jeff, the episode was insane. The tension that they built up in that first episode, in a lot of ways, I'm going to be talking about these as one giant episode. Most of the people that watched this tonight probably didn't watch it in the way that they watched an episode, then they watched another episode. Because this is one level of confusion. AMC did not make this easy for people that don't own AMC to necessarily watch this, or the information on how to watch it was a little unclear. So there's a lot of people watching it in a lot of different ways. On the AMC Plus app, you can stream it, because you can stream AMC live, so you can watch it live. But also they do the thing that HBO Go or whatever, or what was the other one? Whatever the HBO app used to do with like Game of Thrones episodes, where the minute that the episode airs, it gets put on the app for streaming. So there were some people that were just watching the episode without commercials, and some people were using the app to stream it live. And anyone that was watching it live in any platform, whether it was on AMC, whether it was on YouTube TV or freaking Filio or whatever, you probably viewed this almost, it felt like one giant episode block. Some people that watched it on the app or on Amazon or something, and they got both episodes, are going to see this more in like as two distinct episodes. But what is amazing about this, and I think it's could probably feel this way for all 13 goddamn episodes of the season, it feels like it could all be one big giant orchestrated thing. The two episodes went well together, and we got so much in both episodes. I'm glad we got a double episode because there's so many characters they needed to check into for a moment here, a moment there, and it really worked the way they distributed time in this episode. That was one of my favorite aspects of it. They gave me just enough of everyone that I wanted. And then every time I didn't think I could handle more, they bring in a Kim and Jimmy scene or Kim and Saul scene, and everything is all changed up. Like the energy, no matter who you're with, feels like a different, amazing energy, and it all comes together and is orchestrated perfectly. The way the episode started out, just that immediate, it was just them playing. Like at the beginning, it's almost like a band starting out with a crazy, complicated, amazing, interesting song. And yes, I'm going to be licking Vince and Peter's labias all season long because this is their swan song season, essentially, for this Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul universe. This is the one they're going out here, and they're throwing it all out there. And that whole intro section edit with the ties, and when the color came in, the color scheme comes in, was just insanely amazing. I was just, oh, okay, we're here. This is what we're doing now. Okay, we're here now. Amazing. Let's do this shit. Thank you, Jeffrey Townsend. Yeah, rest in peace, Nacho. Nacho is not long for this fucking world. Excuse me for a second. Oh. Shut off that light. I don't like the way that light's glaring on me. I'm in a weird Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul sort of thing. I was like, I'm under the light. I'm in the dark shadows or something. Thank you, Jeffrey Townsend. Mel Mick, long time no see. And that's what's amazing about finally getting back into the scheme of things with some shows. I know it's honestly the last show that I did in rhythm before everything in the world kind of shaped up and changed a little bit was Better Call Saul. And so it's great to be back, and it's great. And not just that, we're going to be listening to a little bit of the episode tonight. Oh yeah, Wine and Roses starts right out. Okay, oh yeah, I got the episode queued up. You know, I might be able to show scenes here and there. You know, we'll see. We're gonna test as the season goes on. We're gonna test out the how much we can get away with here. It's Saul Goodman, everybody. Oh, thank you, AK. I appreciate it. Sometimes I feel creepy with the I feel Saul creepiness. Do I think Nacho's going to die? Unfortunately, I do. It's hard for me to see this scenario where Nacho gets out alive. I think he's going to last for a while, but too many people are pulling at him from too many different angles. I wonder, though, who will get... I think it ultimately turns into the question more of who's going to get Nacho. How long will Nacho be useful for somebody, and when will he become useless enough to want to kill him? Right now, he has too much information. Unless Gus finds him, then Gus wants to shut him up. I think Gus is more his danger right now in the sense, I think if the Salamancas get him, he's going to be like Jesse captured by the Jack people and like tortured and used as a tool against the Chicken Man. But I don't know. I want to say yes. I love this performance. This is the sneakiest performance in the entire series because so much of this series, Better Call Saul, was different seasons were dedicated to different arcs, or different sections of the show were dedicated to different people. And the Nacho stuff was hanging out for a while on the show and waiting. Nacho and Kim, really, those two performances, they came in at the second half when other storylines were already handled, like the Chuck stuff, which was all encompassing in the first half of the series, and some of the stuff with Jimmy trying to be a straight and the narrow lawyer and stuff was generally like the early half series arcs were sort of settled, and certain characters got moved on the series. But then you come in Kim later on with picking up the slack of like Chuck being gone. And not that Kim wasn't great from the very beginning, but then Nacho's been here all the time, and his storyline right now is creating so much of the tension because you don't know what's going to happen to Nacho. And I'd like to say, yeah, I think he's going to survive all of this, but it's hard for me to imagine he's making it. Lalo, on the other hand, I don't know. Is Lalo alive in the Breaking Bad timeline? This is a lot of questions I have about that. I don't think he is, but when Jesse and Walt grab Saul and bring him in the desert, isn't the first thing that Saul said, did Lalo Salamanca send you? I swear he says that. So I could be wrong. I have to rewatch the Breaking Bad episode. Some Breaking Bad experts can correct me in that scene. If people know the scene I'm talking about, when they kidnap Saul to scare him when he refuses them or something. I'm blanking. It's been a while since a Breaking Bad rewatch. I'm going to attempt to rewatch all of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul leading into the final season in July, or the final section in July. I am. Babyface is back, but in fairness, I'm like a werewolf. By the end of the weekend, the beard will be back. Yes, Ben. Let's go. Let's go. It's Better Call fucking Saul. I can't believe we're back here. This is so exciting to me that we're finally back here talking about Better Call Saul. And it's been a while. It's like I said, it's been 2 years since we're talking about this show. And I feel like even in last season, season 5 was just ended up airing at an odd time. It's why a lot of people didn't catch up with it until recently. Just at the time it aired, there's a lot of other stuff going on and people missed it, and then it was nowhere to be found on any streaming platform in the last couple of years until very recently showing up on Netflix. I mean, you could buy it on Amazon for way too much money, but it's great to be back. I think you're right. Gene is coming. Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of Gene in the second half, and I think that's why we didn't get him now. They're making us wait for that because the merging of the universe story, and also there's been a lot of rumblings about the Jesse and Walt showing up stuff too. We'll talk about that later on in the season as we give some predictions for the finales. But I think it's all but confirmed that they will make some sort of appearance. So I know there's a lot of speculation. Many people have said this. We've talked about this since the beginning. Better Call Saul is one of the few shows on this channel that we've talked about since episode 1, season 1, episode 1, the night of first episode here. Some of you guys have been joining me since then talking about this amazing series. And I think one thing a lot of people have speculated is part of this going to cross over? And what I mean is the time parallel going to cross over? Are we going to get Breaking Bad timeline events from Saul's perspective, since we only saw Jimmy Saul at times he was with other members of the Breaking Bad cast. We don't know what he was really doing in certain sections of that. Are we going to, and the answer is yes, we've already started to get that. We got that was it in season 4 or was it last year in season 5 where we got the Breaking Bad timeline episode, like specifically got the episode. I think it was in season 4. I think it was in one of the cold opens. It was like a flashback to Breaking Bad timeline at a different time period of something we didn't see. And I think we're going to see more of that kind of stuff as we proceed forward. Hey, John. Hey, Maker72. You sound like an airline pilot there. I read that in an airplane pilot. It's 8:50 p.m. here in Los Angeles. High of 72 degrees. Rolling on into town. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Better Call Saul tonight here on Filthy Issues Guy. Oh my goodness, I love all you guys. Oh, poor kitty. Hey, Tony Pajamas. Tony Pajamas. Thank you so much. But yes, lots of love for Joe and Katie. It was very unexpected for their amazing kitty, Raleigh. He was great, amazingly friendly kid. He was very nice to Lotus, very nice to their bunny when they had it. One of those cats that's just like so unbelievably friendly to everybody and everything that ever existed. Anytime I saw that cat, it was just a sweetheart. And I know Joe and Katie are hurting right now, so the love from the live motherfucking chat means more to them than you guys can know. And of course, me as well. His kitties are my family, and same as they feel when Betty went. They were very they emotionally felt it too. So we're all family here, especially with our kitties and our pets. But yeah, lots of love to Joe and all of them. Yeah, make sure this chat is more intelligent than the other ones have been. I bet Mike is forced to kill Nacho like he did Werner. I wouldn't be surprised. I think that's where I was getting to in a second, Jeffrey. I think that Gus is ultimately going to be the end of Nacho, that Mike is going to make a deal with Gus to spare Nacho's father and to catch Nacho and deliver him to him, and then Gus is going to get rid of him because he has to in some ways, and Mike will understand that on some level, and thanks to Nacho will be making sure that his family is okay. And I could see it definitely going in a direction like that. And Mel's like, no, let Nacho go out the way Jesse goes out. And a lot of people would want that. It almost feels like in some ways, especially the way things are filmed and shot in certain scenes, Nacho scenes remind me of Jesse scenes. The way the excitement level of them, and the way that it's filmed on with this slight different edge to all of his scenes come off like Jesse scenes to me sometimes. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, we got Mohammed in the live chat. Toast to you, my friend. I will cheers you a puff of smoke in a moment, my good friend. Great to see you in the live chat. Jimmy is having a big pains of consciousness. I think he's having I don't know if it's conscious, like having his conscience kick in, or it's a combination of that and looking at Kim and seeing, look at the monster I've created, and she's scaring him in a way. In a Ozarkian Wendy Bird, like, wow, look what I unlocked here in this situation. And Kim is living her best life right now and going guns a-blazing and full slipping Kimmy going on in this episode, and I'm loving every damn second of it. I love her entire arc in this entire series has been unbelievably in depth and different than other types of shows that you've ever seen. In the way that she's been established and she grows and changed and unlocked, but they hinted at this in different ways. It's just so organically interesting while still being extremely exciting. And that's what the thing about Better Call Saul that it does so different than its predecessor. It creates these magic character development expressions where I've said this before, both shows do both things really well, but with Breaking Bad, it's that tight narrative. It's the narrative, it's the excitement, but with this show, it's always been the character stuff, and they continue with the character stuff, but now in these last couple of seasons, they've amped up the action and the energy and the tension, and it's been all so worth it, so worth all the buildup in every moment, and they constantly also make the moments interesting. It's so good when the champ comes back into the ring and knocks out the opponents immediately. And when Vince and Peter and their team, and I'm making a point this season to give Peter his due as much as Vince deserves, especially on Better Call Saul. They're both the captains of this ship. Everyone credits Vince as he deserves, but I think Better Call Saul in the direction of this series results as much credit to Peter Gould and Vince's collaboration as Vince Gilligan. I think what Vince inspires is the best people to want to work with him in a way that when everyone's working, they are having fun and they're inspired to be like, you know what? We're working for this guy. We want to do our best goddamn work. For this dude, because this guy seems awesome. At least that's the vibe I get always from listening to the Insiders podcast with all the creative team members. It seems like everyone wants to make Vince smile. They all like him. And he's a fun guy to work with, and he inspires a lot. And him and Peter have a very good chemistry of working together, and they created an incredible show that stands 1,000 billion% on its own from its predecessor on equal goddamn footing. And these 2 episodes prove that again. This series is constantly proving itself, and I'm glad to see it get some of the respect it deserves right now, but still, it's still an underrated damn show, and I'm glad that it's back and it can reclaim this and go out again on another series. I don't say this shit lightly because I can have freaking shit on my face, but they're going to do they're going to have a Bizarro... I was going to say a Bizarro Dexter. Instead of ruining 2 finishes, they're going to kill 2 finishes. Vince and Peter are going to kill 2 conclusions of 2 different series. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul will both have satisfying endings. Not everyone's going to like it, but it will be damn satisfying. Mel says Lalo has to die. Gus tells Hector his whole family is dead. At that point in time, absolutely. Sonic, haven't seen the show yet, but just dropping by for a big what's up to my Phil and the peeps. Sonic, thank you so much for dropping in and giving that like and help bumping the show to get out to more people. Yeah, it has been 2 fucking years. To me, Jesse and Walt appearing is just fan service. In my opinion, it's not necessary. I don't think it's necessary either, Jeffrey, but they've earned my trust in the sense of what they've chosen for the moments that they want to do fan service stuff and the way it can work and not work. And just like the times when Frasier had the Cheers cast members on, every time they chose to do that, it worked because they knew the right times to do it. I trust that when Vince and Peter decide to bring back Walt and Jesse, or if they decide to do that in any fashion, it's going to be in a way that feels organic to the story or natural to the story. And maybe it will be more than just the fan service thing. Maybe we'll actually get some more story in that. Or it will be kind of fan servicey, but the whole Better Call Saul series is going to end with the moment that we see Jimmy leaving Kim, because Kim's still alive and advising him, and walking into the office for his meeting with Walter. And the first time, and we only see him for a second in that first meeting. So it's like they go out on the whole series fades out with the same song that Breaking Bad ends on, or a different song or whatever, with him being, hey, here's our first meeting, which we know eventually leads to his death. I mean, who knows? But it's probably going to end on a Gene thing. But it's probably going to be a cameo like that or something. So what's the deal with the safe? Were they framing Nacho? That was extreme. I think they were protecting Nacho. I think what was happening in that situation is Mike and his team and Gus's crew knew that the Salamancas would break into Nacho's safe and search it. So they wanted to put different information in there, but then again, didn't that information lead to them going to the right motel? So that doesn't make any sense. Why did Mike do that? Why did they do that? Why did they do that whole safe thing? I'm stupid. Someone explain that to me, either in the comment section or the live chat, or comment section after the video or in the live chat now. I'm not sure. I thought I understood the safe thing, but now I'm talking myself out of what my original thought was. Because I thought maybe Mike changed the information, or he changed the ID so they wouldn't have the real name that Nacho is using at this point, but that doesn't make sense to me. The opening scene shows us we know nothing of Saul's life in Breaking Bad. We have no idea he lived such a extravagant lifestyle, and that is true. And we didn't know anything about him. I think that's more to say that it's more chances that Kim is alive because we just don't know. We don't know anything about what Jimmy was doing during that timeline. It has nothing to... we only saw him in scenes with Walt and Jesse, and maybe with Mike. No, we didn't see it. Did we see any Mike scenes in Better Call Saul? I want to say, generally speaking, every Huel, we saw him in a couple of like scenes with Huel or his people at the office, but for the most part, we didn't go home with Saul. We don't know what he was doing day to day during the Breaking Bad timeline. Kim could very well be around living in that house, and she went on the run too. And hey, Justin, good to see Justin in the live chat. I definitely loved it. If you're with the better, it was just more of the great same Better Call Saul. It was like continuing the story, like it didn't miss a beat from the final episode that we got 2 years ago. I was gonna say last year. Going onward. So great episode, and great to see Bernie in the live chat. Great to see John. Great to see Top Shelf. Great to see all of our friends. This is ZB. Hector looked at Gus the same way he looked at Gus right before he kills him. Hector's raised eyebrows when he's getting his way. I love all the Hector stuff with Gus. I loved Lalo. We haven't really broken apart Lalo yet here tonight. Incredible episode, incredible performance. There are a lot of imitators in this world, but there is only one originator, and that originator is Lalo Salamanca. Oh my goodness, what an amazing character. He has skyrocketed to maybe number 2 on my power rankings chart for favorite Breaking Bad universe, Better Call Saul universe villains. He is right behind Walter White. No, right behind Gus. He is, and it's close with the two of them, and that's what's part of what's making these final couple of seasons here seem so exciting. The introduction of his character is again a new, unique kind of character. The way he shifts his moods, shifts his tension. Yes, thank you. And goes up and down, side, left, right, BA, select, start. All those mood shifts are just unnerving and incredibly depicted well on screen. They work. It works so well. And the character works so well. Again, there's many shows that have tried to copy characters like this in the last 2 years, some more successful than others, but it's like the king is here. The king is here. And that's the thing that's happening all over the place with this episode. And it was especially the first episode. Second episode, you're getting into the storyline, you're pushing it along. It's really good. But that first episode, Lalo is guns a-blazing, literally. And in the storyline with Nacho, the tension just is ratcheted up to 1 billion, infinity speed, ludicrous speed go. It's tough. It was tough for me to not be like, like one of those in the middle of it all, but still beefing. Hector's useless as fuck until it comes time to piss him off. Yeah, Vince co-wrote it and directed the second of the 2 episodes, I believe. I think the first episode was more Peter's episode, from what I remember, and I think I have somewhere in my notes who wrote both episodes. But I think Peter wrote episode 1, and I think Vince co-wrote and directed episode 2. Yeah, that was the best TV ever. That bomb is legendary. It really was. If Nacho, Lalo, and Kim do not survive, do you want to guess in what order they expire? PD's live music. Great to see you, buddy. Great to see all the names. It's been too long, and it's great to be here live talking about Better Call Saul. I think Kim survives. I'll put myself out on that tree. I think Kim survives into the Breaking Bad timeline. And I think Lalo and then Nacho. I'm gonna be, but when I said that, it made me think I'm wrong. I feel like I heard the Price is Right sound somewhere in there. But I'm gonna say Lalo dies, then Nacho, then Kim. I think Lalo might die in this. But I'll give you this. One of the 3 of them at least die in the next 5 episodes. I don't think all of them definitely survive into the thing. I think Kim is safe. I think Kim's safe until the very end. I think disbarring is where Kim gets. I think being destroyed professionally is the death that Kim gets. I don't think Kim gets the traditional death in the way that it's defined in most shows. I think Saul, the fact of knowing and loving Jimmy is going to, and the influence of which he had to unlock something that she wanted to do and she started to like, and it's her choice, but still the path that she's on, I think, leads to her career being completely destroyed and her reputation being destroyed and not being able to help people and working at a Cinnabon, similar to Jean's life in the sense, but not on the run necessarily. And I think, yeah. So I think that's her death. I don't think I don't see her dying, which is horrible for me if it happens because I'm going to be shocked to fuck. And I think Lalo is the first of those guys to go. And I think Nacho doesn't survive either. Lesser series would have written The Lawyer and Breaking Bad as an easy laugh, one-sided, but they decided to make Jimmy a human, and that's enough to launch an equally great story. Great point by Justin. And to expand on that a little bit, Justin, they initially were going to do it as just a situational half-an-hour comedy. That was the impulse idea coming off of a spinoff of Breaking Bad using the funny lawyer. It was going to be like an office sitcom situational sort of thing with Huel and Francesca and everyone in the office, and it's funny. It's a case of the week, something light. But that was when Vince wasn't going to be attached to it. It was going to just be Peter alone. But when Vince came in charge, they basically decided to make it sequel prequel thing and give it the same time and attention and depth of the parent series. And that's part of the reason why season 1 took a little time to get the motor started, because I think they started off late from switching thoughts of what kind of series it was going to be. So they sort of had to get the ground running on what the series was. They didn't have that specific narrative idea as in the Breaking Bad turning Mr. Chibbs into Scarface. I mean, they knew that they wanted to take, they knew eventually when they knew what they were going to do, they knew they wanted to take someone like, they almost felt like they did it in the reverse order. How do you deconstruct Saul Goodman? And yeah. So that's part of the interesting aspect of it. Jesse and Walt might be necessary. It's I'm going to love the fuck out of seeing it, or there's that. Yeah, either it's going to be one of those things. In a weird way, I'm more worried about seeing Jesse than Walt. Like, in the sense that what I mean by that is I'm not worried about a Walt cameo. If they do a Walt thing, I know it's going to be awesome. Like, I know the Jesse one is got to be done right. I love Aaron Paul. I love you to death, Aaron Paul. I love you. You're handsomer and better looking than I could dream, and we're successful, and you seem awesome. You still look like an awesome dude, but you looked it was on the edge of being too old during El Camino at times, playing Jesse Pinkman, like looking at him and some of the flashback stuff. If you're going to make me buy that I think he's a little almost aging himself a little out of playing Jesse Pinkman, unless they want to spend a lot of money on de-aging stuff. So, but Bryan Cranston can look like Walter White at any point in time and make you believe that he's still Walter White at any point in the Walter life thing. So I would rather the Jesse cameo be an audio cameo. I've said that before. I don't mind if we get a fan service science bitch from the corner of Walter's science class or something, or we just hear Jesse's voice as Walter walks into the office or something. Or we get only a quick passing shot of them from behind. I just don't want to see them try to pass a 43-year-old Aaron Paul as 17-year-old Jesse Pinkman. Just for my own benefit. Some people are going to say you're being shut up. Why, this is why we can't have good things, Phil. But I'm not saying not to do it. I'm saying I'm going to comment about it when they do it. Same as the El Camino with Todd. It happens. You decide to focus the story on Todd. You don't think people are going to focus on the change of scenery there? And And here we go. Nice prediction, Phil. Noted. Hey, Phil. Kim and Gene got to meet in Omaha. I think that's going to happen, Mel. I'm actually with that. Welcome back. Might be known. I keep thinking, what if some random runs over Lalo the tractor or some shit? That would be amazing. The tequila stopper is our cue that Kim lived in that house with Jimmy at some point. Mel, excellent pickup. This is one of the reasons why I love, more than anything, doing these shows live, hearing people in the live chats, comments, and observations. Help. Yeah, that's 2 and 3 for me. Exactly, Justin. I think that's Howard tests the coke and knows it's baby powder. Maybe he can smell it. Then it's a setup. If Kevin tells Howard that he saw Jimmy at the golf club, Howard knows for sure. How good was Jimmy's using the Jew card? I loved it. Great. My friend Saul Goodman. I loved it. That was so perfect. I didn't hear anything about Skinny Pete and Badger. I think maybe the last time you see Skinny Pete and Badger are going to be in El Camino, and I loved the way we went out on Skinny Pete and Badger and that, and in Breaking Bad. So, and don't we see one of them at some point in early Saul? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it's the only ones that we've been pretty much. I think Walt and Jesse, the ones people somewhat want. Mr. White. Get that Disney de-aging money. Yes, fandom. They need that Disney de-aging money. They need to get him in Westworld. They need to have him make a host of Jesse. They need Dolores to make a Jesse host. Oh, yes. And it is great. Thank you so much, everyone in the live chat. It's great to catch up. So let's get into this. We've waited for so long, and it's finally time to talk about some Saul. Stand by me. I don't know. I made that way too hard to try to sound like a song I wanted to sound like. But let's do this thing. Recap! Yeah, and I've actually said that for a while, Mel, that I think the Jesse cameo is going to be in a courtroom. That's why I said the audio thing, that when he gets his buddy Emilio off, because I think Jesse's first thing he says about Saul is, oh yeah, that guy's great. He's got my buddy Emilio off a bunch of times. That Jesse yells from the back of the courtroom, lawyering, bitch! You know, something like that when he gets him off. Oh my goodness. I'm very excited. Very excited for a recap. Okay, so our episode starts out with this music as we get welcomed right back into the world of Better Call Saul, and we see this right here, as I'm going to try to show you guys some of it. Saul Goodman's house being ransacked and taken. I wonder. Is this gonna bust me? You think? Let's see. Let me know if the stream freezes for some second. But I'm not gonna show you the whole episode. But we got it right here. We got the audio. Yes, we do. This is the thing all season. So what's good about this is when we get to sections of certain episodes that we want to see stuff again, I'm going to be running the episode in real time while we're talking about it. So I'm going to be able to pause it and take it while we're talking about the recaps now and have a visual representation to view it. And I know it's not as good as being able to have pictures on there. I tried to get it on the computer itself, but my computer wouldn't play it for some reason. But Saul's house was amazing. As someone said, I gotta wait for the piece de resistance in here, the giant shower. We get the Gould toilet in a second. Of course, he has a Gould toilet. The amazing bathtub opens it up. We saw so many mementos of Saul's past during that opening. We see the little, the pink little bikini thing that gets thrown in the trash. And then here we go. The best thing of all in here, we see the golden fucking toilet. That's right, a golden fucking toilet. So our episode starts out with this huge opening of in the future timeline, probably pre-Gene stuff, right post Breaking Bad, when Saul's in the process of running away and everything has come crashing down at this point in time. His house is being repossessed. Do you see cases and cases of Viagra? Yes, we do. We see cases and cases of Viagra. There's lots of Viagra. But we open up. I forgot to mention at the very beginning, we open up in almost a dream of clothes, and right away we're in no color, review like a film. It's beautiful and it's horrible. No Gene, but we get music as we see Saul's house and all this stuff is getting repossessed and taken. But the cops and the feds or whatever in Breaking Bad timeline, this place is so cool. He's got a little man cave. That's the other thing to symbolize that maybe Kim lives there. He has a special section of there that seems like it's a little roped off man cave that has his editing booth and some of his more guy stuff. It does seem like he doesn't live there alone. So again, I'm saying that Kim lived there as well. Amazing shower, Viagra, lots of other drugs, gold toilet, thongs, lots of posters, flyers for Saul Goodman. Finally, cardboard cutout gets thrown in the car. He's got guitars. And already, right from the beginning of the episode, some of the best capturing and feel of the tone. Got to applaud to the editing room of this show that just immediately shows you why they kick everyone's ass. And they focus on the curb and they focus something on the ground. Mel, did you say that was the top of a certain kind of bottle to help us see that Kim lived there? Like, is that the thing that was focused on at the very end? Oh, I think that was his panic room. Okay, this is panic room. And I think the house is being dismantled by Gene's exact timeline. Yes, Jeffrey. But the thing that we focus on the ground as we pan out, I didn't get a good view of what that was the first time I was watching. Let's see if I can see it again on this one and can spot what it is. Kim is gone. The Viagra and the pink panties say it all. Okay, we got Kim is gone. The Viagra and the panties say it all. Since Kim is gone and he blames himself, he is so down on himself. The only way he can get as excited is with the Viagra. That's I'll go with some headcanon on that one. Okay, it was the tequila stopper. It was the Harry that Kim keeps with her. Awesome. Okay. So either Kim's there or he's keeping it as a memento when Kim passes. So yeah, I'm curious about this. Let's see if do I have the technology to do this right now? Cuz I want to, if I can. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see what people say. Does Kim die by the end of Better Call Saul? And ask the community. There you guys go. There's unpin that message. There we go. There I just put my poll up in the live chat. Does Kim die by the end of Better Call Saul? There we go. Get your votes in, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. Okay, so back in right away. And I also like we see a big sign that says Saul Goodman. We see all of his stuff. We see everything just get emptied and introed. We go right back in the next scene. We're back in on Nacho, right where we left off in the last episode. The tension is on. The heat is on. The shots, the takes, everything, the visuals, the sound is just off the hook. He hides in the bushes as people approaches. The color plane of this is shifted in Nacho scenes to show the tension that he's feeling. Everything feels washed out. We see this obviously like a yellow or a weirdish focus to everything, like a darkness of everything. The darkened colors of as he's walking in the shadows through all of this, and he kills it in both of these episodes. He's the overall MVP for me through both of these episodes because he's so consistent in both, creating the tension that he's feeling. Someone calls him and asks him if he's okay. Who was talking to him on the phone the whole time? I wasn't sure who that was. At first, I thought it was going to be Mike, but it definitely wasn't Mike. Was it one of Gus's other guys? Was it Victor or something? I could not tell who he was talking to. Jeffrey says the tequila bottle was from the first scam that they did. Oh, choose. I remember when they did the scam together at the bar. Whoa, what's Dick on playing? Suddenly, I'm like, well, I hear some music. Why is Dick on? So we come back in on Nacho. Let's see what Nacho's doing right now. Back in this episode. Okay, so Nacho is going. He's running through Salamanca territory, and he's in danger, and he's doing his business, walking through, trying to find his way out. And someone calls him and asks him if he's okay. Amazing visual shots in this thing. Nacho asks about the civilians. He's still a good guy, and he's still worried about hurting people. He doesn't really want to hurt anybody. He just wants to be safe, and he wants his family. Nacho's on the run and thinks Lalo is dead. It's all set up in a way to make it seem like so many people think Lalo is dead. But of course, he is not. He's just a bit scratched up, and he takes refuge with a woman and drinks his coffee and tea. And I wasn't sure where they were necessarily going with this particular scene, but it was fun where it ended up. And great to see all of you guys in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me tonight. I know it's a little late this evening. Oh, Petey, that was you singing Dick on? Oh, that's a famous clip over here. You're like, oh, do I hear my voice? Why do I hear my voice all of a sudden on this stupid show? Yep, I still play the Dick on clip. It's right there. Oh, yeah, Tyrus. Okay, we do see him at one point in the episode. Okay, that's who it was. So it is one of Gus's guys. Okay, so Lalo is okay. He's just a bit scratched up.
Across the river maybe an hour ago.
Listen to what Nacho has to say.
Anybody see you?
No.
Keep it that way. You're in Salamanca territory. Everybody's going to be on the lookout for you. And I mean everybody. That includes the federales.
Is it done?
Yeah, he's dead.
Shh. There were some regular people at that house, some old folks. What about them?
Got no information on that.
Oh my God.
When we hang up, take the battery out of your phone, head north.
Don't tell me what to do.
Out of sight.
Fuck you, I'm Nacho.
It'll lie low. In an hour, you put the battery back in, and I'll call you, tell you where to go.
Okay, so Nacho plays ball with them and all that. I went ahead a little bit to the Lalo scene, but yeah, Lalo is alive. He's a bit scratched up, and he takes this refuge with this woman. And what I like about what they did here, one thing I'm really enjoying is, oh, whoops, wrong button. That was supposed to be for Joe. Hey, everybody. I really like how they gave us most of the stuff that we've seen in the trailer seem to have happened in these first two episodes. So there's so much we didn't see in the trailer, and I think more shows should do that. I just whistled when I said show. I couldn't even do that if I tried. But I like how most of the stuff that we saw in the trailer, like the scene right here with the ZZ Top guy, and I love the ZZ Top comment. Just Lalo is fucking hilarious. The actor he's having so much fun with this role, and I'm almost like transmittingly happy for this actor for how much he's having fun playing the character of Lalo. It's all over his face. It's just so much joy. And you can smell it through him in the same way you could smell like Aaron Paul enjoying playing Jesse Pinkman. And I don't think the performances are similar. I just mean like the joy you can see within them playing the characters. Like I am on this amazing show. I know it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, acting gods. And then he comes in with the ZZ Top stuff, which is very funny.
Oye, Mateo. Déjate el bigote, se te ve bien.
Keep the mustache, keep the beard going on. So this is when we set up that the guy that we saw in the trailer that everyone pretty much called was a Lalo lookalike. He sets up this whole situation. I mean, I can recap this and talk about what happened, but if anyone didn't catch this whole situation, he had his lookalike, killed his lookalike in a way to scar him. He basically did the In a Pale Moonlight Garrick plan, where you burn someone up that could possibly look fake, but if you burn it up enough, you can't prove it because you can just say, oh, it got burned up in the fire. So he sets it up to make it look like he died in that situation in a fire. So, and the body was burned, so people were off his tail, or he was killed in the situation. Yeah, Lalo's a very likable psychopath. He's a lycopath. A lycopath. Lalo Salamanca, the biggest lycopath in town. It could be Lalo, but do you think he could have found them that quickly? It's actual internal medicine. Okay, sorry, I was catching up. Yeah, Lalo is a very good lycopath. And he's just funny. You get where he's coming from, and he's generally a good guy. Even the way he's picking up the scissors right here, it's just really he's a casual guy, here, look, don't worry, I'm nice. I'm gonna nicely kill you. Hey, buddy. Hey.
Quedó bien, ¿no?
I look good, don't I? No, you dumbass. You're dead. You're dead, kid. And Lalo fucks him up. So, and nice touch. Exactly, Petey's live music. And nice extra touch with the music. With the dental records, just to reaffirm it. So again, Lalo Salamanca has Garrick-like levels of scheming. And any Deep Space Nine fans will know that is unbelievable praise coming from a Deep Space Nine fan to say that Lalo is the type of guy that would play Cisco in the way that Garrick plays him in the episode Pale Moonlight. Can Better Call Saul be a better show than Breaking Bad? For some people, it's going to be. I've said it before, Bodega Buds, excellent name, Bodega Buds, makes me that sounds like a place I want to hang out. I want to buy some Bodega Buds from you, man. Anyways, I think yes, it is an equal amazing show as Breaking Bad. Even if it doesn't stick the landing, which I think it's going to, I think it has proven itself and did it again tonight that it belongs on the same equal footing as its parent series, Breaking Bad. Some people are going to like one better. Some people are going to like others better. I've always compared it to this. Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould are fucking excellent chefs. They're the two of the best. Stick on. They're two of the best chefs in the world. And their two signature meals are Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which are both fucking delicious. And one of them is Italian and one of them is or stir fry or something, whatever. I'm just picking two fucking styles of music. And one is friggin' Cajun or something. So depending on the mood you're in, both meals are equally amazingly prepared. And I think both answers are right in the same way that Frasier and Cheers, on a much different level because they're sitcoms, it would be exactly the same way. Both those shows are equally as amazing to the people that love both shows. So can it be better? Yes. I think in some ways the production of it is better because the creative team behind it were already at their best when that series started. And when Breaking Bad started, they were still figuring it out. So yeah, I think it depends on what metric you're judging it, but I think absolutely. For some people, some people are going to like this series better. I know them. I know people that like this series better. So yeah, Big fucking Kev in the live chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, Big Kev. This means so much to me. Very much appreciate it. Big Kev, I just got done playing poker. I'm on my way home to watch it right now in case I don't catch you guys on the flip side. Big Kev, thank you so much for the super chat. It means so much as always, buddy. Hope you did well in poker and all your flushes were suited. So thanks, Phil. I did not understand why Lalo killed that guy in the beginning till now. Yeah, I believe that's why he killed him. He killed him because he wanted to falsify his death records and make it more people to more likely believe that he would be dead because it works for him better to be dead in this particular situation. Lalo was lucky that wait. Lalo was where's the sorry, I gotta say that right. What was that comment again? Lalo was lucky that bullet wound to his leg missed his dick on. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank you, Pete's live music. Congratulations, that was good stuff, Pete. The writing in Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, in my opinion. I think the character stuff and the way it's all orchestrated is precise as hell, is amazingly precise, and they know what they're doing more. It's more of it takes its time more. It's more of a deeper character study. Things on Better Call Saul, you can almost imagine it being, especially some of the Chuck and Jimmy stuff early on, you can imagine it even being on a stage. It's that in-depth and orchestrated with the dialogue. And I think they're all so much better at their craft now at the point of this show. But I think it's hard to argue either point. I think with Breaking Bad, it's hard to argue the excitement that you get with that narrative and the character of Walter White and how iconic that storyline is, and that you don't get this storyline without the parent series to create it in the foundation. But honestly, right now, at this moment in time, until the end of this series, this is my fucking favorite. And then I'm going to watch both of them back to back and make that assessment. But for now, I'm in the Better Call Saul car. Put me in the car. Put me in the train. Choo choo. I'm riding the train. Jasmine, Breaking Bad, walking. Do I think that, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Do I think that Weeds is a match for Breaking Bad? I do think it has some elements and dynamics and influence of that, but I think Weeds does not necessarily take itself, especially at the beginning and at its best, as serious as the Breaking Bad universe does. Although I think Breaking Bad influenced Weeds after the fact, and that's why you saw some of the more serious storylines that you got in the middle of it. But I do think you can say in some ways that they're analogous in the sense of a regular citizen decides to break bad. Nancy did break bad in some ways. But I would say Weeds, even as at its best, and I'm a Weeds fan right till the end, even in some of the sketchier seasons, I followed it all the way through, and I thought it had some good moments up until the very last scene, which I thought was really well done. But Weeds is not as well crafted of a show. It's more of a comedy with some dramedy aspects mixed in, but I do understand the conceptual comparisons that you could make to the main definition of the narrative, if that makes sense. But I think the way the shows are produced, one's a half an hour program that gears at its best on comedy and absurdities. And Breaking Bad does have some dark comedy and some absurdities going on, but it takes itself far more serious. And even when it does do ridiculous things like the twins, it leans into pulp and leans into, again, things that seem a little bit more edgy. So I do see the comparisons, but I don't often think about the shows together when I think about, I more consider Weeds a comedy than think about the dramatic aspects of it. Those seasons when they get into the drug cartel stuff are my least favorite seasons of Weeds. I prefer the early ones or the New York seasons. But Pete's live music, I like Better Call Saul better. Arthur Dane was like Chuck Norris of Game of Thrones. That's a great analogy. Sterling said, Jeffrey, it doesn't have to be the same edge as Better Call Saul. I think Jasmine Breaking Bad with another super chat donation. Thank you, Jasmine. I think Kim will survive because her name was mentioned in Breaking Bad. Who says I got this Kim woman? Or he also says I have a wife, or I'll go home to my wife. So I tend to think there's more going on with all of that as well. Okay, so he makes conversation. Lalo is excellent at that. He's got a great poker face. He gets all that he needs. So we're in here with Jimmy and Kim for the first time in bed sleeping, and the phone rings. Kim is locked and ready to go, and we see them brushing their teeth, even seeing this regular shit that they're doing together. The brushing their teeth is so captivating to me in the way that they film it. Sterling says, Breaking Bad was so much more of a game changer, especially for binge watching as a whole. Yeah, and I think, to me, the Breaking Bad narrative will always be more exciting. I think Breaking Bad at times feels like the most exciting show I've ever seen in my life. And it isn't as falsely enhanced like shows like 24 or Prison Break are, like, to make you be like, oh my fucking God, what's that amping you up at the ends of episodes. And I feel more tense and crazy watching an episode of Breaking Bad than I do pretty much anything else. And that's the element that they're bringing in that's combining the both shows. And I think they're very consciously bringing the tones of both shows together more in these last couple of seasons. And you can feel it. Especially with some of the filming techniques. They're bringing back some of the styles that they used in the old show at times in some of the action scenes. And I love it. It's because you can do that, but they didn't need to do it at other times in Better Call Saul, but they can do it now because it makes sense in the context of the story that they've amped up to this point. And everything that they do on this show is fucking earned. When you watch this show, you realize how many other shows cut corners in making things make sense. Everything. When they show you 20 minutes how to set something up, do something simple, like when Mike's miking. When we go, Mike's going to do some miking scene, and you just buy it because Mike's doing miking, and it makes a lot of sense because they spell it out and they show it to you, or just the way that Lalo's plan comes together here. Okay, so Jimmy and Kim are here for the first time. Let's listen to a little of Jimmy and Kimmy's beginning of their day here. Let's see if I can play a little bit of this for you guys. Can you play, freaking phone? Are you not fucking obeying me? Well, the phone's not obeying me, so we'll have to wait for a second. Jimmy's here for it. She helps pick out his outfit. I love Kim and Jimmy's chemistry. They're really built over the seasons, and the actors work together in this effortlessly simple and interactive way that's really captivating on screen. You can tell that the actors rehearse and work together a lot. There's not any hesitation the way that they say their lines and the way that they have this natural rhythm to the way they communicate as a couple, finishing each other's sentences and thoughts, not in a forced way like they're anticipating it as actors. It all comes so natural. So when you get to the Jimmy and Kimmy scenes, it's like you're locked in to this incredible double-headed monster. And I know Kim is scaring Jimmy, and we're seeing Jimmy's reactions on the scared level, but I just mean in the way that the performers are giving you magic on screen. They're working together better than any two performers in this universe have ever worked together, in my mind. They have, like, as good as Walter and Jesse work together. And from like a chemistry standpoint, if we're talking about chemistry that characters have in this particular universe. Kim needs cab money. Jimmy grabs loads of cash and gets the coffee cup, the second best lawyer again. She tosses it in the trash, and the color palette of the yellow of the coffee cup with the cab and with the buildings was just a really amazing visual. And again, this show just kills you on little subtle moments of visual magic. And they do them so effortlessly that they come so natural to the scenes that they don't seem forced, but there's so many of them thrown in. Like just little ways in which you enhance a scene by a shifted camera angle. It's shit that The Walking Dead tries to do because they want to smell their own farts, and you can see it come a mile away. And what Better Call Saul does with it is better than any show, including Breaking Bad, has ever done with it before, because they're just so good at it now. Like sticking a camera angle in a weird place, or just touching everything anywhere. It just all fucking works to me. And let's. Oh no, we're back over here. Okay, so listen to a little of Jim and Kimmy. Jimmy and Kimmy. He's giving her some money from the big bag. You get the big bag.
Cabby will break 100.
And that's the other thing that really works extremely well in this series, the pauses. They do amazing pauses. Kim should die from wasting that entire plate of pescetti. I agree, Jeffrey Townsend. That's criminal. Who wastes that much pescettis? How many toothbrushing duet scenes do Kim and Jimmy have? It seems like at least four. There's a lot of those scenes. And it's the silence that they have in scenes too. The silence speaks magic on this show as well, as they drive off in the cab. So we go back in on the finger of a dead man, an ant on the finger. Again, amazing cinematography. And it's the twins. They're Petey's live music. We're going to get to the Kettlemans in a bit. They were hilarious in this episode. They stole that second episode. They were incredible. It was great to see the Kettlemans back. Betsy was destroying it. And they both just have such great chemistry. I'm glad that they were able to come back on the show. They were so good. And it's funny, these little characters that we thought maybe were nothing at the time really are all ending up being stuff that somewhat matters on some level. So we get the twins investigating the scene. Another interesting stop from the booze perspective, as we see a really good angles of them, and this is just a well put together shot scene as we see fake Lalo, who is burned. Chicken Man, who takes a call, it comes into focus as we get into our next scene. After this, we get a Gus scene where we see some. Gus comes in, and we don't see Gus until he's in focus, and then he has this call.
We know this much.
Ignacio Varga is a rat. Don Eladio has put a price on his head. Every man we have is searching for him. When Varga's found, we'll know who he was working for.
I assume Don Hector's been told.
I called him myself. As for if he understood me, quién sabe.
Listen to me. You must be careful, Gustavo. This is a dangerous time.
No one is above suspicion.
I understand.
Bosa.
Good.
I wonder if Gus is going to make it. And you wonder too, because someone said this earlier, like, would Gus season 1, Breaking Bad Gus, season 1 Gus, would he even hesitate to some of the things that some of the people he's letting live through all of this? Maybe to the point where he gets to where he has to go with Walter with no half measures. He has to have come to those decisions for a reason, because seeing that half measures don't work. So this whole situation, I think, is going to teach Gus about not taking any situation a bit too lightly. Yeah, we do see Jimmy's future rooftop inflatable too. So here we go. Awesome. Ooh, okay. My poll is still up right now. Let's see. Ooh, we got a lot of votes in the poll. We will keep the poll up until the end of the show, but we're definitely heading in one direction right now a little bit. So Chicken Man takes the call. He's looking for Nacho. Enter Mike and Victor. Gus, you just can tell Gus does not buy for a fucking minute that Lalo's dead. There's just no way about it. He's like, Lalo is not dead.
At the scene. But they got Salamanca.
The mercenaries are dead to a man. And yet, their mission was a success.
It has been known to happen. I could go down there and get Varga, bring him home safe. There's ways to do it on the quiet. Unless you already have something in the works.
And Mike is not happy. Mike is not enjoying his time in this particular situation. He's not happy, he's not having fun, and he don't like it. So then we see Gus wants to kick his ass. So then our next scene is, excuse me, let me fast forward a little bit.
What can I do you for?
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
Brunch? But just you and me, right? I mean, won't the big fella here feel like a third wheel?
You and I are meeting Parson in chambers. I am asking...
And you could say that he was even smarter than Walter. Walter just got lucky. Walter, he kept outsmarting Walter. It's like if you play somebody that keeps beating you in chess. Like every time you beat them, every time you play them, you lose. You lose 199 out of 100 times. Walter got him that one time. And so you could even argue that he's smarter than Walter too. Walter just is smart enough to get Gus one out of, or probably not 1 out of 100, 1 out of every 20 times.
For an emergency hearing to alter the terms of De Guzman's release.
It sounds like a blast. Unfortunately, I'm booked solid.
I checked your client's place of residence. The address he gave, it's a Dairy Queen in Altamonte. The family that showed at the bail hearing.
I think Walter is a tad bit smarter at the top end too, and I think Gus just had power on him. I think Gus has a little bit more experience in the world, which is what gave Gus sight over Walter a little bit. I think he wasn't necessarily playing Walter on an even playing field because he knew the world far better and came into it with more strength. So Walter was always working from behind. So it's even more of a credit that Walt was able to outmaneuver him from such a position of weakness.
Can't be located. No drivers.
Walter's emotions. I think Walter has almost more of a capacity of psychotic thought in some ways. Gus is more organized in his attack.
License, no tax rolls, no school records, nothing. Fact is, there isn't a single Elizabeth McKinnon under the age of 73 living.
So these guys are trying to ascertain where Lalo Salamanca is, and they're trying to pressure Jimmy, thinking that they're dealing with Jimmy here.
In New Mexico.
But Jimmy fucks up.
Well, this is
He fucks
surprising.
up. Let's listen to how Jimmy fucks up.
Disappeared, and I'm not waiting 6 weeks to start looking for him.
Hey, my guy put up 7...
Okay. I just want to, because we haven't talked about this yet. So Jimmy's talking right now to the people that Lalo's out on bail. They don't know he's Lalo Salamanca. And Jimmy is going all Saul on these people to be like, Lalo doesn't have to show up till this date. So get off my back. But he does fuck up here. Let's listen to how he fucks up.
$7 million in bail. You think he's just going to walk away from that?
Who comes up with $7 million in cash?
You know what I think? I think the family was fake. And I think you knew it the whole time.
Hold up. Let's just get real for a second. The hearing didn't go your way, and now you're trying for a do-over. You say my guy ran. I say he's got 7 million reasons for showing up when he's legally required to do so. So, no, I won't be due process window dressing at any crash meeting with Parson. And if you try throwing any of this crap around in front of the judge without my presence, here's an accusation: prosecutorial misconduct. Career-ending prosecutorial misconduct.
None of that changes the fact the guy's not who he said he was.
No, hold on. You guys got caught with your pants around your ankles and somehow that's on me? I don't think so. You've got 24 lawyers up there. You got investigators, you got the whole damn police force, and it's my fault you can't keep track of Lalo? That is not my job!
Lalo? Who's Lalo?
What? What did I say? I meant the Guzman. I have more than one client. So, I will see you at the preliminary in 6 weeks, as scheduled. Until then.
So, you say fucked up but recovered fairly well. Did they believe him? I mean, I guess we've never, minus Hank, we've never really seen that people are good at their job in that situation. But it is a fuck up. He did say Lalo, and they look like they don't quite buy it, but he does fast talk his way out of that. But it is a pretty big fuck up. Who's Lalo? Exactly. Who's Lalo? Lalo is the Salamanca brother that just faked his own death. Okay, so then we get into the El Camino dining room.
I have clients who need me.
Which if you missed it, it's also in the trailer as Jimmy starts spying on Kim doing her business, and they're setting up a meeting. Excellent shadow on the wall behind Kim during this scene. More incredible cinematography as she probes him on what Saul Goodman needs to do, what kind of flair he has, what kind of car he should drive, what kind of office he needs to have. And Kim is so scary how all in she is here and how much she's being a part of building this Saul Goodman.
Suit definitely helped. This kid, he's a high school senior, good grades, works 2 jobs, has this so-called friend, some snot-nosed brat who drives a brand new Mustang convertible.
Okay, I have a question here. This person that she's talking about right here, I'm going to rewind this for a second. Could she be talking about Jesse? Could this be Jesse she's talking about? Let's listen to who she's talking about here at the beginning of this scene.
Nice threads.
I don't know if she's talking about the people she was just meeting.
Hey.
How'd it go?
The suit definitely helped. This kid, he's a high school senior, good grades, works 2 jobs, has this so-called friend, some snot-nosed brat who drives a brand new Mustang convertible. One Saturday night, Richie Rich says, "Hey, you want to drive my car?" How can my guy resist? The friend tells him to pull over at a liquor store. Rich kid goes in, robs the place with his uncle's Bowie knife.
No.
Yeah. My guy's out in the Mustang playing with the radio. He's got no idea. Rich kid comes out, $4.25 in cash, bottle of Jägermeister, tells my guy to floor it, which he does happily because he's completely in the dark about the robbery.
But when they pick him up, your kid is driving.
He's driving.
Of course he's driving.
Yes. My guy ends up with the public defender. Rich kid's family brings in a top dollar defense from out of state, if you can believe it, Denver. And they're trying to dump the whole thing on my guy. It was my client's idea. He was forcing the rich kid into it, the whole deal. Oakley's going for aggravated robbery and assault.
Oakley, that dick.
Yeah, but your kid...
I know he's not, but my stupid instinct is like, is the rich kid Jesse?
I think I can make it work for us.
But no, probably
Trials
not.
Next month. This was really good. Have some.
Kim is very scary in this scene. Kim has the plan to fuck Howard and start off with Cliff Mang. I don't know. I could be making shit out of Shinola there, but the way they're talking about the other kid, he had a Mustang and he went in with a Bowie knife, and I don't know if his family was from Colorado. I'd have to rewatch Breaking Bad to see if there's any Colorado connection to Jesse, but I doubt it. I'm probably looking for turds in the wind right there. But for some reason, watching it for the first time, my head flashed. Are they talking about Jesse right now? But I don't think so.
There was a homeless woman that I had to get out of NBC.
As they're talking back and forth about cases and shit.
Sounds like the day from hell.
It was one of the best days of my life. My professional life.
So Kim is loving it. Kim is high. Kim, you can see it in the look on her face. She is enjoying this way too much. You know, she is. Oh, she's loving it. Even the way she's sitting in her seat, she's like down in her seat, really enjoying this. Now, they talk more about the plan to fuck Howard and start off with Cliff Maine.
Something showy.
This is where she starts
And
stuff.
Saul Goodman has an office. Something eye-catching. Good location.
By the courthouse.
Yeah. A cathedral of justice.
Ooh.
A cathedral of justice.
Okay, yeah.
We should start looking for something for you. I mean, for Saul.
Sold. When do we start?
Saturday's good.
Like, she's seeming more like the architect here of Saul Goodman rather than Jimmy at this point in a lot of ways. She's really going for it with the way, with designing the Saul Goodman thing here.
On the Howard front?
Oh, here we go. This is what I want to hear.
There's a way to get Sandpiper settled and leave him standing. Bruised maybe, but still standing. Maybe the trick is we're not working on Howard, not at first. Maybe we start with Cliff Maine.
So, we're doing that?
So interesting that
we were, aren't we?
Interesting that Jimmy is, and they have this like,
You think we shouldn't?
again, their relationship is so real. You get this pause, like when they argue about something, and they both know they're doing it because Kim wants to do it, and she's not doing this.
Not yet.
Can I get you a drink while you're thinking about it?
Yeah, Coke? Thanks.
Like they don't say one word in this whole moment in between when they go get the Coke. It's just like this long fucking pause of tension, and now she's you can just see it on her face. Her mannerisms are different. Slipping Kimmy is full Breaking Bad right here. So our next scene that we pop into, just to move along here a little bit, Nacho's in some pipes, hiding and sneaking, playing a stealth video game. And I'd really play a whole video game, like a Breaking Bad video game, as Nacho trying to escape in this situation. A Better Call Saul video game. He heads into a motel and the rocking. This is where this show seems like Coen Brothers movie sometimes. More Better Call Saul than Breaking Bad at times. It feels like you're in like a huge cinematic, interesting situation. It's just crazy. They head in the motel, the rocking chair, getting up, the sound stopping, giving the key, and going back and sitting in the rocking chair. Alt angles, this show is just so tasty. The way it looks, the way it's established, it's a tasty, beautiful program to look at, and again keeps you excited. Yeah, I'll have a Coke. Jeffrey, I didn't even think about that. He ordered the Coke. He did. That's a fucking great pickup there, Jeffrey. Great. So in the motel room, more yellow. He finds an envelope with some cash and a gun, and he gives a call, needs to wait for a pickup truck to jump in the back, and he'll hide in the room, shoot anyone that comes in, and there'll be a price on your head. So we go off to Mike and Kaylee number, is this the 10th girl cast as Kaylee? I don't know. I lost count. There's a lot of Kayleys. Kaylee 10 is Wayu number 7 is playing marbles. And again, I don't think you've ever seen marbles shot visually this well since playing. I want Vince and Peter to do the Marble Madness movie next. That's how good I like the marble moments here. It was glorious. Color variations. It really is like just all those just subtle little touches that they add to the show in just the color palettes. Again, it's very theatrical, even though it's, a television show, just the way they're using different colored gels to symbolize different emotional type stuff, and the way it's focused and then use black and white at different times. And a lot of shows, movies and stuff have done this too, but I don't think any show has integrated it quite as perfectly as Better Call Saul does. Because it takes, even when it shot Breaking Bad stuff, it brought in the old film cameras that they used in Breaking Bad, and they simulated the way the visuals looked for that show just to create that signature look style. Better Call Saul is a creature with many hats, and the show, depending on what character you're with, looks completely visually different and feels different. If you're with Nacho, you feel closer to being in that Breaking Bad universe, and you're with Jesse trying to escape somebody. It kind of feels like that. Or Walter tried to come up with a plan. When you're with Gus, you feel like you're in a different show altogether. When you're with Jim and Kimmy, with Saul and Kimmy, it feels like a different show altogether. When Chuck was around and you were with Chuck, it felt like a different thing altogether. And it manages to take all of those elements and combine it and give it this uniform identity all into itself. When you're in Mike and Mike's doing Mike stuff, you're in a fucking MacGyver show sometimes. And I love how, we'll get to it in a minute, but I love how Mike is getting old. He's getting younger, but he's getting older. So he has just his guy now do the action work, and he's just sitting there watching. You get the Mike montage without Mike actually doing anything. Exactly. So we get Kaylee, 10th of her name, playing with marbles. Nacho calls, but Mike doesn't answer. Kim and Jimmy stalk some golfers. He wants to learn how to play golf. Ed Bagley Jr. is there, and they're watching Ed Bagley Jr. and Howard do their shit. Exactly. If it's not broke, don't fix it. He's going to go in there and get a tour, and this turns into one of the funnier scenes in the episode. I definitely want to find this to play it, where we get Jimmy trying to go into the golf place. And
Mr. Goodman,
Goodman, the name. The second you heard it, everything turned on a dime. Waiting list. I think you're talking about an exclusion list. It's okay. I should have known because, look, it's wall-to-wall mayonnaise in here. So, listen, if you're going to be restricted, have the courage to say so.
there's no question.
Here it is, folks. No. Anti-Semitism alive and well right here in Albuquerque.
Sure. We have many Jewish members.
Oh, good. Well, you met your quota then.
I love when they let Bob be Mr. Show Bob. When they're like, Bob, could you go be funny now, please? Go do your thing.
Gold star for you.
Hold on. That's gotta be the biggest load of horse crap I've ever heard in my life. Go crawl back in your hole, McGill, or Goodman, whatever you're calling yourself. What are you up to anyway? Ginning up another one of your put-up job lawsuits, you two-faced, blackmailing, money-grubbing son
Money
of a bitch.
You're saying the quiet part out loud, I think.
Can we just keep the volume down?
You know damn well that's not what I meant.
In this day and age, I'd hoped and prayed we'd be beyond this.
You're about as Jewish as my Aunt Fanny.
5,000 years and it never ends. Here it is, violence. It always comes to this.
Mr. Wachtell, please.
Come on, Kev. You go to hell, you lying sack of shit.
Sir, Mr. Goodman, I don't know what to say. That is not...
I wouldn't be a member here. I wouldn't walk through those doors again after what happened to me here today.
I just love when they let Bob be Bob. And he's proven himself as an amazing, amazing actor on this show. And he's great. But, he's still Bob from Mr. Show sometimes. And when they let him be Bob from Mr. Show, it's great. It's just really great. And this was a scene like that, and I'm glad. Like, they came Better Call Saul's like guns a-blazing in these two episodes.
Folks, I'm leaving. All is well.
As we get that amazing scene there at the end. Off to Kim watching them play golf, and it's over to Saul, who overflows the toilet, and we get the Access records. We get the music that kicks in this scene. That's very Ocean's 11 as he drops his pants, and we get Howard and Maine talking as Saul shows his butt, and Howard opens up the locker and drops the coke out, and they're like, "Who's this? What's this? Is this cocaine?" And actually saw the actor that played Howard on the season 24 I was just watching. So it's good to see Howard. Good to see Better Call Saul actors in different things. But it's a funny scene with Howard finding the cocaine and all of that stuff. He's like, "Oh, it's not mine. I swear it's not mine." And, in the commercial, we saw an interview with the vampire or whatever. Okay, so then we see Kim with Kim's kind of nervous. The coke is baby powder. We go off to Lalo, hiding his face and traveling back to the truck. He's dead or he's going to play dead. Lalo is so funny. He calls Hector. He knows how to switch his modes from nice to mean to focused. He's such a carefully, again, a lycopath. He's a lycopath, a likable psychopath. And it works for him and it works for the show. So we get to see some Hector great Hector. Sends shivers down my spine every time you hear the bell ring. If I'd never heard that bell ring again, I'd be okay because it's horrifying sometimes. And Lalo plays so well with him, and they have a great back and forth. And yep, he figures out that Lalo gives him. They figure out a plan together that they're gonna find Nacho, I believe, and that it's. Hector starts spelling something out. What was he? I don't know what he was spelling out. Was he spelling out Popeyes to say the chicken man? I'm not sure what he was spelling out, but Lalo got the message, and he decides to not take the truck to the USA and go his own way. And he tries to get his money back. The guys don't give him his money back, and he kills them and lets everybody out, make sure everyone else gets their money back. Very nice of Lalo. And that's the end of our first episode. Properly. I always imagined that Howard did coke anyway. Sterling Howard went from prostitutes to coke. What's very funny about what you guys are both saying there about Howard is in the episode of, he's in season 3, towards the end of season 3 of 24. He plays a guy, spoiler alert for 24, if you don't want to be spoiled for season 3 of 24. Here's a little spoiler. There's a toxin thing that's getting out, and Howard gets it and doesn't know that he gets it and starts spreading it because he's in a hotel like having sex with a prostitute and then he like runs out of the hotel and his nose starts bleeding, and that's how you know he's infected with it. So it kind of went hand in hand with him being a coke addict. I saw him earlier. In fact, I want to get a picture of Howard from 24 with his nose bleeding and create a meme of, see, Howard is a coke fiend, something like that. Anyways, so back to our next episode as we come back in on a very disgusting kitchen. Let me open up. I have to shift to our second episode here. Whoops. Second episode called Carrot in a Stick. As we go to episode 2. I'll probably go a little quicker through episode 2 as we're getting a little later here in the night. Not that I need to get up for anything really, but okay, so we go back in the disgusting kitchen. Domino's motherfucker. We see 2 junkie tweakers with some babblery going back and forth. And have you seen Nacho? No, I haven't seen Nacho. Mike lets them leave, and they give a little please. Mike lets them take some money or lets them figure out if they want to go or not. And he's like, you got 5 seconds to take the cash. And Mike does some miking. But so we basically get some Mike porn here at the beginning of the episode. And this is all the stuff I'm not exactly sure what he was doing. I'd be... John Haymaker's not a cokehead. He just loves the way it smells. Good, yeah, it smells cool. They replaced the safe, but put all the same stuff in it. Like the only thing I was thinking that maybe with the new safe, knowing that someone else would take it, they were tracking it or something. I don't know. I thought that they were trying to protect Nacho, but then all the Salamanca guys showed up at the right hotel. So it seemed like what Mike put in there actually had the number to where Nacho really was. So I don't know what was going on there exactly. I'm a little bit confused with exactly what Mike was trying to do. I'm sure it will all be clear later, or I have to watch it again and it's clear and I'm just stupid. So it's true. It's true, Ian. So he replaces the safe, gets the cash. Nacho's dad set up. Like I thought what he was doing was setting up the money for Nacho's dad, but I'm not sure what's going on. Switches the safes for some reason. Now we see Saul trying to do some commercial pitches as Kim basically again is building Saul. We get a funny mesothelioma conversation here.
Evaluation, right? And how does Howard come up?
Okay, mesothelioma class action. I wrenched my back. I was in so much pain I couldn't do my job, which meant I couldn't put food on the table. I didn't want to sue, but with a family to support, what choice did I have?
Wait, who are you supposed to be again?
Whatever. The backstory is just a placeholder. I'm gonna polish the script once we cast.
But a personal injury suit? Best case scenario, that gets them in with an associate.
Mesothelioma. When I took that job at the shoe factory, I had no idea I was risking my life. Now I can't stop coughing. Right, come on. Hey, a mesothelioma class action. Bill Clifford, Maine, his vacation house. He hears mesothelioma, his eyes pop.
Well, sure, but then he takes the case. What happens when he asks for a medical evaluation, right? And how does Howard come up?
Okay, ask me why I'm here.
So Kim
Brings you
is...
to Davis in Maine today.
I'm sick. I'm really sick.
Good.
It's not mesothelioma, but it's not good. And I need a lawyer, and the pickings are slim. I already went to HHM. I met with their top guy, Howard Hamlin, and I've got a brother-in-law, and he's got a pretty nasty coke habit. Very similar energy. Just put me off. Anyway, I need a lawyer, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, but you got a bad feeling from just one meeting?
Yeah, but the brother-in-law with the coke.
Yeah, but you were only in the room with him once.
Okay, so...
Oh, okay, Jeffrey Townsend. But they had to do it because they had to destroy it to open it. But why did they have to open it? So did they open it to learn? Oh, okay, now I'm starting to get it. Okay. So they opened it to learn where Nacho was, but they didn't want to interrupt anything to make it seem like they did open it. So they opened it by breaking the safe. So they had to replace the safe to put the other safe. And then they got the number of the hotel to know where he was. And that's how you had the other guy there that was spying on him. The guy that didn't know who hired him. Mike probably hired him. Or one of Gus's guys. The first guy that Nacho ends up stopping. So they probably found out where Nacho was from that meeting. They were doing it to find out, same reason, finding out where Nacho was. But they replaced the safe to replace it because they broke it. And they put everything back in the same just to keep everything exactly the same. And Mike held the letter for a second, thinking... should I take this letter out so they can't find him? But no, I shouldn't, because I should keep this exactly the same way it was. So maybe that all of that is the reason. Thank you, Jeffrey. At least that's my new headcanon of it all. That's what they were doing in that moment. And then it makes sense. It makes sense that would be the reason why they were doing all of that. Okay, so then we get Kim says...
Okay, so it's got to be someone with a history with Howard.
Yeah.
But Cliff has to want to take the meeting, but not the case.
Right.
It's got to be good, but not too good.
Exactly. There's a sweet spot, like a magnet. We pull Cliff in and then repel him.
Oh, she knows. She's got one.
What?
You are going to hate this.
But she has it, and that's going to the Kettlemans. She's got the idea. So then we have a meeting with Gus and Tyus, I believe, and they check out the evidence. I think this is about Lalo's death. They go over all the evidence to see, and Gus still doesn't buy it. Oh, okay, Jeffrey, minus the fake IDs, and so does Foodie Dance. Foodie Dance, I like that. He did not put the dad's IDs back in. Okay, so he did protect his father's death. Thank you, guys. With the 2 episodes and taking notes and stuff, I missed some of that stuff. So I guess I absolutely missed Mike putting taking the dad's IDs out. So he's protecting his father, which is what Mike does. Mike accepts that, Nacho, he wants Nacho to survive because he likes Nacho and he feels like he's been straight up, like he says to Gus at one point in time. But he accepts that Nacho's in the game and Nacho deserves, doesn't deserve, but you play by the rules of the game, and if you go, you go. But the dad is as innocent as Kaylee. So Gus doesn't believe it. And suddenly as Gus decides he wants to go see Hector, to try to read him to see if he can figure out if Lalo is alive. And then we see Jimmy going through a Coen Brothers movie through the sky as we get to see Betsy Kettleman, who if you were in the subreddit for this show this tonight, the thirsty gentleman came out in big numbers for Betsy Kettleman in this episode. But both the Kettlemans killed it in this episode in their performance. They were hilarious as hell. And it's great to see them back.
Just take these little bits off for you. We recycle so you can feel good about that.
Oh, yes, you can.
Alrighty. That's $246.73.
Great lead up, great fun, just great business in this scene.
Here you see, long time no see.
As Jimmy shows up.
Get out. I have something very exciting I want to discuss with you and your husband.
We are not interested. I am asking you nicely to leave our place of business.
But this you're going to want to hear.
If you don't leave right now.
Yeah, and I think Mike almost would do it even if Nacho hadn't asked him, just because Mike has this sense of honor of like people that are out of it. He doesn't want to get them involved.
Mr. McGill.
I love how excited the dude is to see him.
Good to see you.
It's Goodman now, actually. Saul Goodman. Long story. But hey, you're looking fit. I see county didn't do you any harm.
You know, they have a surprisingly good exercise program.
Is aerobics mostly? Or do they?
They're just great chemistry, great callbacks. I love how the Kettlemans are immensely entertaining in this episode. I was too, Jeffrey. I wasn't expecting it, and I love how everything is relevant in the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul universe, and they goosed me here by bringing back characters I was not expecting, even in a little bit.
So why don't you go crawl back under whatever slime-covered rock you came from and leave us the heck alone?
Okay, I sense some anger here, but that's perfectly understandable. Since you brought it up, I came here today because I was curious if you two...
So he plays them in a sense to try to set them up to sue Howard and get their money back because Howard was coked up and didn't give them proper representation.
They were all terrific, but they said that it was impossible.
And I also like how in this scene you can see the Statue of Liberty in the background to kind of see where Saul Goodman gets it as a setup technique. And he makes it seem this is a Saul Goodman tactic of Team Jimmy and Kimmy to make it seem like you've been outsmarted, to make the other person seem like it's their idea and they're giving you exactly what you want, as he gives them the information and tells them the plan and then tricks them into hiring him to tell them what's going on, and then she immediately fires them.
He went straight to the competition with it. You remember these? Really? Substance in question being a certain illegal white powder.
That awful woman with the ponytail is a cocaine addict.
No, not Kim Wexler, no.
That
Craig's
awful woman.
lead attorney, Howard Hamlin. Oh. But he was so professional and energetic, upbeat.
Oh, yep. Someone said it in the chat.
So upbeat.
Howard seems like he's a coke addict as is.
Textbook malpractice. I mean, the magic phrase is ineffective assistance of counsel. If your guy wasn't nose deep in the devil's dandruff, well, Craig's case would have turned out completely different.
Oh my God.
Don't we need some kind of proof?
All the dirty laundry comes out in discovery. Just trips to rehab, secret drug deals. All we got to do is get the ball rolling. So I say we get started on your affidavits.
Yes.
About that. We happen to know a thing or two about our rights, Mr. McGill, and it doesn't matter what you force us to sign. We don't have to work with any lawyer we don't want. And that means you're fired.
I am not fired.
Oh, yes,
no.
you are.
No, he's fired.
You did exactly what he wanted to. And then we go to Nacho going stir crazy, or is he hears something coming, but it's just his food. You see someone walking to the motel and smoking. Nacho looks, feels paranoid, but he thinks he sees something through the crack in the door. We go to the offices of Ed Bagley Jr. here in a second after that Nacho scene.
So you won't represent Craig?
I'm afraid not.
And they tell him about the coke.
Well, then, we will take our business elsewhere.
Sorry we couldn't be of help.
Bet you are.
And even in that small scene, the Kettlemans are just hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like
I know I don't need to remind you everything we just heard was privileged.
of course.
And Howard Hamlin, please. I tried to save you the time.
You did, Aaron. Thank you.
But he's suspicious because he saw the white powder fall out of Howard's locker. The seeds are set. What Jimmy wanted, what Kim wanted, is done. They got their plan. Excuse me. Whatever they were trying to do was successful. Come on, bobo, 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 doobo, doobo, doo, cocaine. So we have the Gus. Next scene is the Gus coming to meet Hector. Gus sees Hector. Gus, quote unquote, tries to make peace. They're looking for the traitor Nacho. Hector attempts to shake hands. They all are happy, and Gus knows Lala's alive. My question about this particular scene, when we see this, does Hector know that Gus would know by shaking his hand that he's telling him that Lala's alive? Like, Hector knows that Gus knows that he hates his guts. So is this sort of like a fuck you to Gus to be like, listen, Chicken Man, you tried to kill my nephew, but he's still alive. Go fuck yourself. Or is it like Gus really trying to Hector really trying to fake getting along? I know the goal of it is Gus trying to read Hector, but I wonder what Hector is trying to achieve in this scene. I almost thought Hector was ready to pull out a duty and throw it at the Chicken Man's face right there. But instead he went to go shake his hand, and the way he looked and the way he shook his hand was almost in a way to be like, yep, Lala's alive and you can't do shit about it, motherfucker. So we go back in our next scene to Bosa or some other guys going through Nacho's safe, and they find the number and they find Nacho's ID, and specifically they remind you that they didn't show the dad's ID because they just show you Nacho's ID, and Mike see both, and you see the motel phone number, you see what Mike thought about taking out, but he chose not to. So we go back to, this is where we get into our, the exciting part of the episode. Not that any of this was unexciting. It's like 1:35 in the morning and I'm talking about this episode, a 2-hour episode, and I'm fucking still excited. I could talk about this all night. We go back to a paranoid Nacho waiting for the truck. It's food time again, he thinks, but he watches the guy and he kind of tests it to see if the guy's watching him. And he sees something and he gets pissed and throws his food. The food didn't do nothing to you, buddy. You should eat that food, motherfucker. But anyways, is he paranoid? Is he freaking out? Or does he actually see something? He decides, you know what? I'm going to take the air conditioner the fuck out. And he kicks the air conditioner a few times and then smashes it in the back. It's great. It's almost a Jesse edit, as I said earlier. Some of the Nacho scenes feel Jesse-like in the way that they're edited. And we just see him escaping in the way the edit's done. We see the guy watching, or is he eating, or is he singing? I don't know. We see Nacho on the hunt. And you get the jump on him. Dude's like, I don't know your name. I'm just getting paid by a random dude on the phone to watch you. So Nacho calls all night long, all night. Boo, fa-fa-fa, fa-fa-fa-fa-fa. So Nacho calls. He can't shoot, but the edit sound cut was brilliant. Oh yeah, he's coming after the guy, and he's like, "You can't shoot me," or something he says. And the way they cut it, they made it seem like for a second Nacho was going to shoot him, and they were going to do like a jump cut to the shot, and they jump cut to Nacho hitting him instead. It was just a brilliant action edit. It really worked. No shaky cam, no fucking nonsense. Just an interesting editorial cut that, again, I applaud the editors of this series and sound design too and directing and everything. But specifically the editing for Better Call Saul is maybe the best editing I've ever seen on a TV show ever. And I'm not fucking... That's not hyperbole. Better Call Saul is so slick. So damn slick. It's like you're in a pool of television water. It just all flows so fucking good. And that's what this series excels at better than any series. Any series, including its parent series. Not saying it's a better or worse series than its parent series. I'm saying that certain things it does better, certain things the other one does better, certain things, you know, other people's creations that aren't Vince and Peter. Pff, fuck you guys. I just want to see what Vince and Peter do next. Okay, so Nacho calls, he can shoot me. He knocks him out. Really great action shift that gives me a very Breaking Badian feel. Even the music. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, episode 2 was written by Vince Gilligan, directed by Vince Gilligan. Has that Gilligan-ness. Forrest. Great to see Forrest in the live chat. My friend, it's always awesome to see you. I've never watched the show. I don't know if I should. Yeah, you should. It's a good one. It's fun. It's one of those shows that starts off slow, though. The first season is by far the slowest of all the seasons and is a little bit of a slog to start, but I love it. But it doesn't start as fast as you may think. It takes a little while to figure out what it is. Kind of by episode 8, I would say it kind of figures out what kind of show it is and starts getting really great from that point on. But it's great to see you in the live chat. Either way, Forrest, thank you for jumping on in and dropping a like. Ooh, up all night. Up all night. Here we go. So, but yeah, this episode is directed by Vince Gilligan, and it feels Vince Gilligan all over the fucking place. All over my body. I'm spilling Gilligans. As Nacho hides in his car from like a reverse angle down there, the way it's shot, the action comes up. Wow. Just really great stuff. Vince knows how to mix angles, knows how to shoot action, makes it fun. You can feel his energy all over this place. As Nacho hides in the car when the twins come upon the motel looking for him. They break into every room as Nacho tries to hotwire the car. He shoots the dude and is shot back. Well directed he shoots a number of guys down as they want to keep Nacho alive as he's about to get shot down. And he's running back and forth away. One dude is at the top of the hotel gun. They give him this come here look, the twins do, and he thinks, what should I do? And okay, I'm not complaining, but why didn't they shoot the wheels? They needed him alive. He like froze with the car in front of them for a while. They eventually shot at the car when he paused the car for a second there after he was able to hotwire the car and back away. Once he paused before he drove out, the twins, if they were smart, would have just shot the wheels of the car. Then you just can't do it. Some shows do it, and you can't always do it when the car is running away. But he was parked for a minute, or he was like in drive waiting for them to do it. I was almost surprised. I almost expected them to. Which is why it was a good surprising scene, because I expected Nacho to get caught there, especially when they said we need him alive. I was like, oh, okay, they're going to catch him. And we're going to see Nacho tortured for a few episodes or something. But no, he got away, which was interesting and I wasn't expecting, and it was cool. But I kept being like, why aren't you guys shooting the wheels? But that's just me. Anyway, so maybe they didn't have a shot. So they shoot him, but he starts driving towards them. They shoot him up on the side of the car for some reason, but Nacho gets away. So then we get more Jimmy picking out outfits with Kim, and Saul gets a call from the Kettlemans going nuts. They need to meet him for a meeting. They need to talk to him, and it's on. Oops. And Kim says, so is it going to be the carrot or is it going to be the stick with this one? And Jimmy says, oh, they're more the carrot type. Kim's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I think I'm going to come along. Jimmy cares too much. Excuse me, because she sees him taking money out. And she's like, I don't know about any of this. I have a big stick on these people. I'm not going to let your sentimentality screw up our plans here, Jimmy. So she's coming along. And she does it so innocuously, too. She's just like, yeah, sure. I'm coming. And you just know it's the boss is coming. Excuse me. So Mike's got a sniper, as we saw in the Breaking Bad timeline. It's just to show you, it's a little sort of back to what, seeing on the inside of what Mike and Gus were like when Walter meets them. So we get a meeting with the Gus crew where Mike is they're trying to figure out a plan on what to do. Let's see if I can find that scene. Here we go.
Varga's alone in foreign territory. No one he can trust. The kid's smart, but he's not gonna last. He's gonna get caught.
Continue.
The best way to handle this. I take 4 of our best guys across the border and track Varga down. Find him, bring him back before the Salamanca.
Give me 4 men and some grappling hooks, and I'll impregnate the Vargas.
Sweep him up. It's our only play.
As Gus picks up the pieces of his broken plans, picks up the pieces of the glass. A little on the nose, but you earned it. you earned it in this show. And Gus gets no blood on his hands when he's picking up glass with his hand. Because he usually doesn't get dirty.
El padre de Varga. Tráelo aquí.
No. You're not doing that.
This is where Mike steps in the way, being like, listen, you're not going after the father. I made a promise. He's out of the game. There's no reason to go after this dude's father. Let's find that white. Let's go beyond the wall and find that White Walker.
You don't understand. That's not happening.
And then this dude's like, listen, Mike, I'll shoot you down right now. And Gus is like, eh.
Whatever happens next, it's not going to go down the way you think it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Mike does not seem impressed in this moment when the guy has a gun on him. He's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to take that gun, shove it up your ass, and kill you if you don't get that gun out of my face. And the phone rings and it's Nacho. Nacho talks to Mike for a second, and then Nacho wants to talk to Gus, and Gus picks up the phone, and that's the end of that scene. And then we go to our last section of this episode, and I'll play most of this because it's worth it.
Talk to you.
Jimmy meets with the Kettlemans
go in?
one more time with Kim.
I'll talk in front of anybody. Everyone's going to hear the truth soon enough anyway.
And let's listen to this. It's beautiful.
There is no case. There never was a case. We went to 4 different lawyers, real, legitimate lawyers, and they all.
I love how she says that, real, legitimate lawyers. Go fuck yourself, Saul.
There was ever money or anything else for us in this insufficiency of counsel nonsense. I didn't get it at first. You know why? Would you do this? Why?
A lot of cocaine,
Send us down
haymaker.
this road. Then the clouds parted on your sick little scheme. You used us, and our good name, to character assassinate Howard Hamlin. Somehow, some way, it benefits you to tear him down.
Yeah, and we're mad.
We're mad.
Okay, yeah,
We're mad.
I'm hearing a lot of unfounded accusations being tossed around. I don't know anything about schemes or character assassination or whatnot, but if you're
We're
feeling
set.
slighted, we can make it right.
Money. Money's not gonna take care of this.
Money takes care of everything. Isn't that the motto stitched into the
So
Kellerman
Jimmy's
family
really
crest?
trying to handle this in an easy way. They're not biting.
You're just gonna have to figure out a way.
Kim is getting pissed.
Before. We lost.
Thank you.
And I love how the camera focuses on Kim as she's just getting frustrated. And she's like, uh-oh, it's time to bring in the bad cop.
Internal Revenue Service, Albuquerque.
And she
Hi,
just,
could you put me through to Justin Stengel in criminal investigation?
and she just picks up the phone and calls the IRS. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger. I know, I'm playing the music. It's sounding like a porno music in the background.
One moment,
What are you doing? Excuse me.
This is Justin.
Justin, Kim Wexler, how are you?
Hey, Kim, good to hear from you.
How are Noreen and the boys?
Oh, hanging in. Noreen always talks about having you by for dinner sometime.
We should do that. Tell her to call me. Listen, I was wondering who your CID officer is these days.
You have something for us?
Oh, I just might. Tax preparer fraud. A lot of it.
I'm listening.
A lot of it.
Well, it's this rundown little mom and pop outfit I've had my eye on for a while.
She's so like.
Don't ask me why. Clearly, I need to get a life, but
Because she's more capable than Saul. So when she does it, she's just like, I don't have patience for this. Let's get the job done. Let's just get this done.
from what I can glean, their clients always end up with smaller refunds than they deserve.
Please don't do this.
Do the client sign over third-party authorization?
Bingo. So what I'm thinking is, these creeps file legit returns with you guys, give the clients fake ones that show about half the proper amount, and then pocket the difference.
Classic scam. Well, I know just the guy to go after these dirtbags. Tony or Apollo. Real bulldog. I'll transfer you over.
Such a big help, Justin.
You got it. Talk soon.
You don't have to do this.
Oh, she's doing it.
Don't I? Betsy, you'll probably get 24 months. Maybe 18 with good behavior. But Craig, you are a two-time loser. They will definitely make an example out of you. Each false return they discover will be a separate felony.
Kim.
What are we talking? 100? 200?
CID Anthony or Apollo speaking.
Listening to talkers makes me thirsty. If any more words come pouring out your cunt mouth, I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
Just tell us.
Why would I believe you? Huh?
Please.
Please. Please don't fuck us.
First, you contact every person you've ripped off. Tell them you made an accounting error. Tell them you're crooks who had a change of heart. I don't care. Give them what they are legally owed. Everything you stole. And then after that, you're going to forget you ever heard the name Howard Hamlin. I'm keeping my eye on both of you.
So they were.
You think you've lost everything? You have no idea.
Bam. Kim is scary. And that's basically the end of our episode, I believe. It just ends right there. Jimmy has a look on his face like, okay. You guys just couldn't have taken the money and shut up? Come on, guys. And Jimmy, we cut over here. Jimmy gives them the money anyways. And then he goes into the car and she's like, we'll hear it in a second here. She basically is like, you gave him the money? I mean, we don't have to hear it. But she looks pissed that he got the money. Let's see if we can see it.
Wolves and sheep.
Huh?
Nothing.
I gotta get a stand for this. Just so we can have it like right in the background or something. So he says wolves and sheep, just making it like those people didn't deserve that. You're way more powerful than they are. It's not fair. It's bringing these people to the slaughter. And she's like, you gave them the money, didn't you? You let them keep the money. You gave them money. And he's like, yep. And interestingly enough, he's the one with the sentimentality in the group. And that ends our episode, the first episode of Better Call Saul. The first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul. Wow. What a way to begin the season. So many questions, so many things set up. Amazing that a show that's a prequel in some ways and a sequel in other ways. But one of the sequel thing is what happens to Gene. How does he solve this problem? Does he eventually die? Does he eventually get caught? People are still obviously after him if they're going after his house, and that we've seen the people that know him. Who are those people that know him? Is it just as innocuous as it seems? Are they working for somebody? Are they working for Lalo? Will we see Kim again in the time? I think in the real future timeline, I seriously doubt we'll see Jesse or anybody else from Breaking Bad, but I do think we're going to see some Better Call Saul characters maybe in the Gene timeline, specifically Kim, but who knows? Kim may in fact die. We'll see. We got to check our poll in a second here as we end. We can pretty much see those results. Exactly, Ian. Bring back the mirror. But what will be the fate of Nacho? What will be the fate of Lalo, and how will the rest of the Salamancas? Will we have Tuco come back? Will we see a scene with Tuco and Lalo together? I think that would be very fun to see a scene with the two of them working together and see how Lalo handled Tuco's energy. I would die out of hilarity to see the two of them in a scene together, and I hope we get that. We have 5 more weeks of Better Call Saul. I will hopefully be out here every Monday evening after every episode airs to talk about it. Some weeks with Joe, some weeks by myself. Maybe I'll have a guest here and there if I can. Worst case scenario, and Monday evenings are tough, or I have a busy work day or something's impossible, I will do it on the Tuesday afternoon right afterwards. But most likely I don't see anything getting in the way of the next 5 weeks being able to do the show right afterwards, pending, sickness or injury. More sickness than injury, because, injury, if I break my leg, that's not an excuse. As long as I can wheel my fucking lazy ass over to the computer, there's no excuse. So it's more anything that can cause me not to talk. This is the final season of Better Call Saul. I'm not missing talking about an episode and ripping apart an episode. Oh, and I forgot to mention the one thing. There was a car following them at the end of the episode. Who do we think? First of all, let's look at I should have done a different poll too. Let's end the poll right now. Our poll is let's see what people say. Poll is completely, does Kim die by the end of Breaking Better Call Saul? 36% people say yes. 63% say no. The no's win. Not we don't win anything. We win being wrong if it goes in the other direction. But it seems like most people think that no, Kim will not die. But who was the car? Let's explain the car. Who was following them at the end of the episode? So it is, as they leave the Kettleman shop, someone is in their car, begins to follow Kim and Saul. It is reasonable to believe that it isn't anyone that connected to Howard. It's most likely unaware that Saul and Kim's plans. We're led to believe it's most likely Lalo, but is Lalo up north that quickly? But I don't know. It could be someone connected to Gus. I don't know. Who do you guys in the live chat? Hamlin was in the car, or someone he hired. Okay. Fudidan says Hamlin. That's because I don't think it is Lalo. I think it's anyone but Lalo. So Hamlin's a very good guess. Hearing about them talking shit, that Ed Bagley Jr. reached out to him already and told him what was going on about the Kettlemans, so he could have been watching the Kettlemans. So yeah. So it's probably I will accept that. My headcanon for the moment, I'm going to go with Fudadance and say it was Hamlin or someone connected to Hamlin in that car. I don't think it's Lalo, even though the scene is making you want to believe it's Lalo, but I don't think it actually is. So, but yeah, great premiere. This might have been one of my favorite premieres of the entire series. They definitely hit the ground running, coming off a lot of people probably just watching season 5 for the first time with it being added to Netflix USA. A lot of people, this is their first chance to binge it. And then this season 6 takes off right where season 5 ended and keeps up the energy that season and season 4 did as well. I'd say consistently, I'd have to rewatch all the seasons, but in my mind, each season of Better Call Saul has gotten, in its own way, a little better and a little better and a little better. It just keeps progressively getting more intense, more equipped with multiple angles to kind of pick apart and peel, many different mood shifts and color shifts and tonal differences between characters and scenes and modes and colors. Wow. The champ is back. They're not retired, but they've been on a 2-year hiatus and they haven't missed a beat. The team is going on full cylinders. The break is just perfected it right now. The only criticism I have of this whole fucking situation is that we see 7 episodes here and then we wait a few months and then have to wait for 6 more. I just would rather get all 13 episodes in a row because I'm a selfish prick. But other than that, which can't really be helped, I would rather them just do a 10 episode thing and then have a few double episodes that are counted as one episode or something, just to make it so we just got them all in a row instead of having to get half the season and wait. But this just seems to be the fucking norm since The Sopranos did it. Breaking Bad did it. BoJack did it. So many seasons are doing like the split final season that it's just it's just a thing now, and it's whatever. You know, they wanted them to do 2 seasons. They said it's a way that Vince and his team sort of compromised. They wanted more episodes, and they said, fine, we'll do 3 more episodes and we'll split it like this instead of doing an extra season. So it is what it is. But my selfish prick ass wants, after seeing these 2 episodes, I'm already thinking, damn, I have to wait 5 weeks and now I'm going to be depressed and having to wait till fucking July to get the conclusion of this fucking series. It's Jesse. Jesse's in that El Camino. Half the season gives more people to catch up for the final stretch. Absolutely. And I do have to also say, just not to mention other shows too much here, next week, Monday, I will be doing the Better Call Saul recap, but also next weekend, the final season of Ozark, the final part, airs as well, and I will be binge watching that and doing as quick of a recap as I can after I binge watch that as well, and it's going to be great. I'm very much enjoying the final season of Ozark, and I'm curious to see how they close out this very fun series. Anyways, Better Call Saul is back. Please, if you're watching this later and you've made this far, hit that like button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment in the comments just to say that I made it all the way through and say Better Call Saul, you know, or something like, yeah, let's say that. Better Call Saul, hashtag Better Call Saul. Just keep it simple for this particular show, just so I know that you made it all the way through. Put it in the comments section, and if you're in the chat now, when the video goes up in the comment section, so it can live there and we can bump up the comments and get this out to as many people as possible. Thank you everyone that checked this out tonight. Like I said, I'll be back next week. Hopefully Joe will be able to join us. The time, as I mentioned, is a really weird time for Joe. When it comes to schedules, it's because he gets off work somewhere between 8 and 10, I believe it is, on weeknights. So it being on Mondays from 9 to 10, the show, and then the podcast theoretically is going to be from like 10 to midnight. So theoretically, he might be able to join us for the second hour when he's getting out early on Mondays. But lick that like button. Be a lycopath, not a psychopath. The Vivid Kiwi. We're gonna get together at some point during the break between the seasons, or at some point. If you haven't already, definitely check out the Vivid Kiwi's channel. Lots of awesome stuff. Better Call Saul related. So make sure if you haven't subscribed, definitely in the family over there. So jump over there and check it out. We're gonna do some sort of crossover at some point so we can both talk about the series. But definitely check out all the awesome stuff over there. Really awesome to be connected with another creator doing some Better Call Saul stuff. So it's gonna be fun to talk about it at some point. Rest in peace to Joe and Katie's cat. Sorry you guys were dealing with that. If you're watching this too, lots of love to Raleigh. Rest in peace to a really amazing kitty cat. And next time we have Joe on, we'll make sure to show him extra special love by watching a good episode of something instead of watching a Walking Dead crap. Oh, me too, Vivid Kiwi. I would love to chit chat and come on over, or have you on at some point or call it in or something to chit chat, and we'll figure that out. We talked a little bit in the comment section, but it'd be real cool maybe after the season, in between the season, to build the hype as we're waiting for July and to do some predictions on how it's all going to finish, that kind of stuff. But we'll figure it out and pop on and do something. We'll talk and figure it out at some point. It will be fun. But definitely check it out, and check me out too, and make sure you subscribe and share it. If you know somebody likes this shit, tell a friend. It's harder than ever now to get support and get attention, so we can only get there with the help of others, especially when you're someone that calls people in the chat the motherfucking chat out here. So I appreciate all you guys' support and spreading the word. So everyone, thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. What a season premiere. What a show. We're back. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champs are here. The champs are here. Better Call Saul is back. Vince and Peter are killing it. And you else killed it. The live motherfucking chat tonight. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you for all of our friends that popped in the live chat. You guys mean so much to me, and it's so awesome to be talking to. After 2-year break for this new season of Better Call Saul, I can't even logically believe that we're here talking about it right the fuck now. It happened. It's gonna happen again next week, and then for another 5 fucking weeks. I cannot wait. Good that my friend from California is coming in this week, starting tomorrow. He's going to be here, so I'm probably going to be drinking for the entire week. So between now and next Monday is not going to seem like a long period of time. It's going to be like a lost, long, extra weekend. I'm going to the Celtics Wednesday night. I'm going to go to the casino one night. I'm going to be drinking and partying and goofing off and stuff. So but by the time I get here next week, I may be a little weaker, a little wackier, a little off. But we'll be talking about some Better Call Saul, and I can't fucking wait. It's happening. It's here. It's better than ever. And we'll be back next week. Love you guys. Peace. Bye, Jasmine Walking Dead. Bye, Ian. Bye, Sterling. Bye, Foodadance. Bye, Forrest. Bye, Jeffrey. Bye, all of our friends. And wait, no, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Bring it back. Oh yeah, bring it back. Oh, that was good. Oh shit. Oh wait, no. Oh, that was a bad edit. I had it right, but I didn't mean it. Misa Femiola. Thank you, Jeffrey Townsend, for being amazing in the chat tonight. Thanks, Petey's Live Music. Thank you, Jasmine, for those super chat donations. They mean more than you know right now to help me keep being able to do this. Keep the power on. Shit's expensive. Big Kev, thank you so much. John Haymaker. Cocaine is one hell of a drug. Devil, thank you, Devil, back for being in here tonight. You mean amazing a lot. Thisby, Melly Mick, it's great to see you tonight. Great to see Beef and Bernie early in there tonight. Our good buddy Top Shelf Justin, great to see Justin. Tony Pajamas. Love you guys. We'll be back next time. Bye.